but they will get pushed off as the bombs go off down here in turn 4. For those of you who missed the party in the pits Friday night, I will tell you what, you missed one fantastic fireworks display here at the Oswego Speedway. Auburn Telstar Fireworks did the job for us, and man, oh man, they did a fantastic job here at the Oswego Speedway. For the party in the pits fireworks display, started out kind of meek and mild, and man, it ended with a tremendous finale. Glad to see it here at the Oswego Speedway. First fireworks here in upper years. That's right. And then he says the whole party in the pits was the best he's ever seen. We had more people there than ever before. Great award ceremony. 2 very good bands and a lot of fun had by all in the party in the pits. We'll have one again next year for you here at the Oswego Speedway. Meanwhile, the field just about set. The last 3 or 4 cars being pushed off. Shannon Groves fires. Here is Andy Powell, former limited super modified driver, 43. Mike Douglas firing up. And the provisional starter finished there. Next time around, they're going to be in the white flag lap. They're going to be tightening those belts, getting them ready to go 200 laps of super modified racing here at the Oswego Speedway. Everybody in the back grandstand is up. Everybody in the front grandstand was up. We thank you, the drivers. Thank you. Now we are ready to go racing. Jerry Kritzman in the tower has the white flag in hand. Coming out of turn number 4, the white is out. 200 laps of super modified racing to go. The race must end under the green. It must end under the green. So in any event, if a late race yellow flag does come up, they will go green-white checker at the end. Last year this race went 206 laps. Makes the fuel situation just that much more critical. Down the back chute, the pace car, the Murray Motor Company. Chevrolet Camaro Z28 Fran Dashnaw, the driver, brings it down low into the rear pit gate entrance. Now it's in the hands of Doug Didero and Davey Hamilton in the front row. Russ Wood and Mike Muldoon in row number 2. Coming down out of the 4th corner, the throttles start to go down. Here's the green flag to start the International Classic. And it's Davey Hamilton jumping out in front of the 35. Doug Didero runs his second. You'll notice at the beginning a little fuel coming out of several of the cars. That is because they are loaded to the gills with fuel, and it is just a matter of some of the overflow coming out. It is not a serious situation. Across the stripe, Davey Hamilton out in front, 18 feet on the Gibson lap. They are running with a full lap of fuel. Danny Soul made a good move at the beginning here, started in 8. He has moved up to 6. Look at Bellinger down to the inside, working underneath the 18 of Howie Page. Down the front chute now, it is the 35 of Davey Hamilton out in front. Doug Didero running second, Mike Muldoon is in third. Abel drifts high in the corner. The lap counter is now in operation. Abel drifted high between 1 and 2, but not able to take advantage was Russ Wood. He sets back there, rounding out the top 5. Danny Soul runs in 6th. 7th is Dave McKnight. Bentley Warren is 8th. Mike Ordway is 9th. Chris Graves rounds out the top 10. Eddie Bellinger has gone from 13th up into the just outside the top 10. Now he moves into 10th as your leaders come down the front chute. 17, 8, 5, 2, 4 laps in. Davey Hamilton is out in front, and we got a spin down the front chute. It is Dave McKnight. McKnight piling up the Lichte, number 84, as he got loose coming down the front chute. I think something may have broken on that car as McKnight got hard into the foam down here in turn number 1. Norris McDonald says he's down at the scene. Let's go to Norris.
Dave McKnight getting out of the crumpled 84 up here in turn 1. Front end of this car is too badly damaged to continue, which is really a shame. Looked like Dave McKnight was going to have a good day in the Lichte 84, but it won't be now. The wrecker will be here.
The white flag has been displayed. The pace car will pull into the rear pit gate entrance. The green will come out in turn 3 and let come off the 4th corner. The leader, Davey Hamilton, is going to start collecting those $25 bills. as the race leader down into the corner. They pick up the pace now. Green flag is out. Hamilton set a very slow pace. Look at Danny Soul. Makes a move down to the inside, gets underneath the 05 of Pat Abel. Hamilton played a little cat and mouse game that time, trying to slow everybody down. He did, almost gave the opportunity to his teammate Mike Muldoon to get underneath the 3 of Doug Didero. Now charging back on the outside, Pat Abel goes by not only Danny Soul, he also goes by Russ Wood. And Abel now moves up into fourth, in behind the 50 of Mike Muldoon. Muldoon running right behind Didero. Out in front, they all chase the 35 of Davey Hamilton. Hamilton out in front right now by about 10 car lengths. Didero running second. Muldoon is third. Abel runs fourth. Russ Wood fills out the top 5. We got a jingle over between 3 and 4. A spin for Kenny Williamson and Denny Wheeler. Some fantastic driving behind him as he had the car broadside in the track. Half of the field had to go around him.
Well, yeah, there was definitely good driving right there. The thing is he was able to hold the car where he spun, which is good. A driver can miss you if you're sitting, but when you're rolling, then it's hard to make a decision which way you're going to go. So he did.
Heavy crash for Dave McKnight, and then a pretty easy spin for the 11 of Kenny Williamson, but he had to face the whole field going by him. This time Hamilton flying off, gets a green flag start in turn 3. Last time he set a very slow pace. This time he really put the hammer down. And this time Doug Didero stays right with him. Last time he got a little bit of an advantage. It is Hamilton, Didero, and Muldoon, the top 3. Pat Abel running in 4th. Russ Wood fills out the top 5. Danny Soul is in 6th. Bentley Warren runs 7th. As your leader comes out of the 4th corner down the front chute. Mike Ordway is back in the 8th spot. Cliff Graves and Eddie Bellinger round out the top 10. Then it is Dave Samard and Stevie Gioia next in line. Down into the 3rd corner now. Davey Hamilton and Doug Didero continue to run nose to tail. The speeds have not been all that fast so far as the drivers not had much of a chance to get some heat into the tires. They are running 17.987. 17.987 on that lap. A full load of fuel, that's a lot of weight they got to lug around. Not only that, it does tend to throw the handling of the car off just a little bit. All in all, it slows them down. As you put 50 pounds of fuel in at, 5 pounds a gallon or something like that, you got an extra 250 pounds in the car. 17.8 that lap for the 35 of Davey Hamilton. He would like to run away and hide, but so far Didero and Muldoon able to stay pretty close to him. A battle back at the back of the pack. 2 wide, the 08 of Gary Sorrell, the 56 of Han Latula. 17.726 the last lap for Davey Hamilton. He leads Didero right now by 0.6 of a second. Pat Abel running in 4th. He put on a great race with Eddie Bellinger a couple of years ago. They bammed and crashed the last couple of laps. Bellinger came away with a win, and Abel finished in 2nd as Pat looks for his first International Classic victory. We now pass the 25-lap mark. Each Davey Hamilton was led all the way. Doug Didero in 2nd, Mike Muldoon is 3rd, Pat Abel runs 4th, and the 32 of Danny Soul rounds out the top 5. Your leaders about a straightaway behind the slower cars. Will continue the rundown. Running in 6th at the moment is Mike Ordway. Bentley Warren 7th. Russ Wood is 6th, Bentley Warren 7th, Mike Ordway is 8th, Cliff Graves and Eddie Bellinger round out the top 10, Dave Samard is 11th, Stevie Gioia running in 12th. Everybody remains on the lead lap, as exception of the 11 rather, of Kenny Williamson, who is a lap down right now, or 2 laps down, as he got spun between 3 and 4 and lost laps waiting for the track safety crew to come and straighten him around. Meanwhile, out in front, Davey Hamilton is just pulling away. 17.605. His lead over Didero is now 1 10 and Hamilton begins the lapping process. He goes by the 56 of Hal Latulum. Bentley Warren, smoke coming off the motor of the number 23, and we got 2 cars up into the wall. The 89 of Todd Stoll and the 43 of Mike Douglas. Bentley Warren's number 23 starting to smoke. It might be overheating. I can't really tell, Denny. But the 23, Bentley Warren, now a lot of smoke coming out of that car. He's headed for the pits.
Yeah, it's a tough break for him. It looked like maybe an intake gasket or something like that is sucked in, because it's really starting to puff quite a lot out of it. So I do believe it's probably a terminal situation.
And Bentley stays on the track. He wanted to get in that time, but had a couple of safety vehicles right there with him, couldn't quite make it in, so he's going to have to make another lap. Heavy damage on the...
Took assist to Todd Stoll and said, hey, what are you doing? Todd Stoll just assisted with a wave of his hand. In fact, Douglas has now gone back to having a second conversation with Stoll. Mike Douglas is not going anywhere in this race car today. It's up on a hook. It's...
So a couple of the favorites, the front runners, by the wayside. Now the pace car in. Green flag is out in turn 3. LaTulip, the lap car, trying to get out of the way. Here comes Didero down to the inside. He'll put a lap on LaTulip. Mike Muldoon did not get as good a jump as he would like. He sets in behind Hal LaTulip right now, coming out of turn number 2. Muldoon goes to the inside. He gets on by. Pat Abold will be the next car to put a lap on LaTulip as the race leader comes out of the fourth corner, the 35 of Davey Hamilton. Hamilton out in front, down the front chute. Didero right behind him on the get-go lap, 18.274. Didero second, Muldoon is third. Pat Abold runs fourth. Danny Soul has made a great charge up towards the front. He is running in fifth. It is Russ Wood in sixth, Mike Ordway in seventh, as the Auto Palace team has a couple of cars running in the top 10. It is Cliff Graves running 8th, Eddie Bellinger 9th, Dave Samard in 10th, Stevie Troya still runs 11th, and Double O Joe back in the number 12 spot. Gary Morton just out of the top dozen. Here's your race leader coming out of the fourth corner. The first 4 cars have pulled away about 5, 6, 8 car lengths between each of the two, as Davey Hamilton has the advantage. Samard now going under. Al got stuck on the outside, but he has been doing a great job hanging in there. Timmy Snyder goes into the pits in the 0, so Snyder goes a lap down as he takes the 0 into the pits. Now they start to get the times down. 17.545. The race leader, Davey Hamilton, is left with the drop of the green flag. Doug Didero has run second. Mike Muldoon third. After that, there have been some changes around as the 05 of Pat Abold right now hangs on to the number 4 spot of battle, going on for fifth. And you got a new car in the top 5. It is the 29 of Russ Wood. Danny Soul running in 6th now. And running 7th, it is Mike Ordway. Gary Morton has made a charge. He is up, picking up a couple of spots. He is up in the top 10 now, running in 8th. He got by the 02 of Eddie Bellinger, running 9th. Dave Samard next in line. That is Cliff Graves, right ahead of the 02 of Bellinger, as Samard still runs behind them. Your race leader now coming out of the fourth corner, completes lap number 45. We got a regular feature in the books right now. Here comes Danny Soul back to the outside. A good battle going for fifth back here. And Russ Wood gives way to Danny Soul, but Wood back on it on the inside, retakes the spot. They have swapped fifth place back and forth a couple of times. Here is the race leader, the 35, Davey Hamilton. 17.569. Doug Didero running in second. Mike Muldoon still third. Pat Abold is fourth. And they are really getting away from the rest of the field. The battle for fifth between Russ Wood and Danny Soul. Soul on the outside, Wood on the inside. They battle right now side by side between 3 and 4. And that's going to play a heavy role on the tires of Danny Soul. Now he is finally through them. Can he get back down and cut him off? No, Russ Wood hangs tough down to the inside and moves back down underneath Danny Soul. That is a battle in the top 5. Down the front chute, the 35 of Davey Hamilton, 17.484, Didero and Muldoon. Second and third, Pat Abold still in fourth. Soul in fifth at the moment. Russ Wood right behind him. Mike Ordway back behind them, 6th and 7th. Cliff Graves run 8th. Eddie Bellinger is in 9th. Dave Samard rounds out the top 10. And again, your leader coming up to start lapping some of the slower cars. As the battle continues for 5th, 6th, and 7th. And now Eddie Bellinger working on the number 1 of Cliff Graves as they run just outside of the top 5. The race leader down across the stripe that time, Davey Hamilton moving in behind the 08, the Iron Mistress of Gary Sorrell. Then it'll be Didero and Muldoon running nose to tail right behind him. Your leader has an advantage over Didero of 7/10 of a second. Here are Didero and Muldoon now closing in on behind the 35 of Davey Hamilton as Hamilton tries to come by the 08 of Gary Sorrell and the 56 of Hal LaTulip. They are running side by side right ahead of the leader. Didero closes in behind the 35. Now now. Sorrell washes out, and having to get out of it as Kenny Williamson goes into the pits. Davey Hamilton had a moment's excitement there as Didero now tries to go to the outside of Hal the Tulip. Back down to the inside. Finally puts a lap on him as Sorrell gets passed by the race leader, Davey Hamilton. Now Didero goes to the outside of Sorrell and on by. Some excitement as they come through the slower traffic, but it all comes out the same way it started. Davey Hamilton out in front. Doug Didero running second. 5/10 of a second behind. Mike Muldoon is in third. Pat Abel back off the pace in fourth. Fifth, sixth, and seventh have now changed as Danny Soul finally gives way. Russ Wood running in fifth. Mike Ordway sixth. Danny Soul is seventh. Cliff Graves runs eighth. Eddie Bellinger is in ninth. Then it is Dave Samard 10th, Steve Choi in 11th, Joe Kosick 12th, Gary Morton in 13th. The 5 of Timmy Carew.
Time down to 17.57. Works off at turn number 2 and now opens up a little bit of an advantage going down the back straightaway. Hamilton will be closing in on some heavier traffic here. We have now hit the halfway point. We're halfway home here in the 1996 Budweiser International Classic. Off at turn number 2. It's Hamilton closing in on that traffic going down the back straightaway. Didero again trying to make a run on him as he comes into that traffic. Davey Hamilton coming up on the outside of the Howie Page car. He's taken a couple of extra laps to get by him. He works right up on the outside of him, closes in going down in advance into turn number 3. Off of turn number 4, Hamilton trying to close in a couple of cars directly in front of him, and he just wants to pick his way. Right now, it appears that Doug Didero cannot close in. He works going down the back straightaway. Didero, the 1996 Speedway champion, now looks down onto the inside. The top 3 hooked right together here in the front straightaway. An 18-second lap, last trip around. Hamilton cannot close in on Howie Page. Remember, though, Howie was in the pit area here just about 10-15 laps ago and had the new right rear tire put in, and that shows you the difference of a new tire. Hamilton now working up on the outside. Again, trying to get a run going down the back straightaway. Didero staying right back. He's back there 1-2 car lengths. Pat Abel still running, and look out, we got trouble here in the front straightaway. It is Greg Furlong. Something, I think, exploded or broke coming down here in the front straightaway. We'll try to take a look at it on the instant replay up here.
Joe, this will be the place where if anybody's going to pit, this is where it's going to be.
This is it. Just like we had said a few laps ago, it's probably going to happen after the halfway point. Let's watch. The Beaver River Trucking Crew stands by with the jack. Let's see if that's going to be for Muldoon or is it going to be for Hamilton. Didero's crew also standing by. They're getting ready for a pit stop. So the action is going to take place now in the pit area. The leader, Hamilton, coming by. Didero, your second place running car, and we're set to go down trackside to Norris McDonald.
Thank you, Joe. Greg Furlong has taken his helmet off. He's fine in the cockpit. He's moving around. A little bit of a baptism by fire here. His first super modified race turns out to be the International Classic. He was giving that 90 car a real good run for its money, but it all came for not hard up against the outside rail here in turn 1. Car unable to continue. Going to have to go off on the hook. Greg getting out of the car now. A-OK. Back up to you.
Well, since then, we've got a couple of the hot shoes into the pit area. A new right rear being put in on Davey Hamilton's car. Also a right rear is going to be put on Doug Didero's car. Mike Muldoon is now the leader, car number 50, and I don't know if he's going to be coming in. And look, they're all set to let the number 35, and they let go. A little bit of a problem over there in the pit area as a couple of the push trucks nearly came together, and now they push out Davey Hamilton's car number 35. Here's Doug Didero being pushed out in car number 3. Eddie Bellinger in the 02. 16 cars currently on the lead lap. Mike Muldoon runs. And here is Abel. Will he be able to get pushed out? They're trying to get him fired up. Yeah, he's fired. He's got the Chevrolet fired up. And the A&P Auto Parts car number 05 comes streaking. Boy, you're right. Just barely getting out there ahead of the pace car. Mike Muldoon, it does not appear that he's going to be making a pit stop right now. We'll watch the pit crew down here, see if we see any signs. And maybe they are ready because we do see a new tire setting over there. But he has not dropped down onto the inside. The pace car remaining out onto the Speedway racing surface. Another car pulling in right now. Muldoon coming in now. The leader is in. And let's see, who do we give the lead to right now? Danny Soul is your leader, car number 32. Running in the number 2 spot is car number 29. Eddie Bellinger almost ready to go down a lap. The 29 of Russ Wood now running number 2 spot. Will Bellinger, yeah, he makes it out onto the Speedway. And they tell us from timing and scoring on the other side of the tower that Bellinger did not make it out ahead of the pace car. He will be gone down a lap. White flag has been displayed. Danny Soul, car number 32, the blue car that rides third in the pack, is the leader. They head up into turn number 3. The green lights are out, and now Danny Soul knows he's in command. Takes it up in the high part of the Speedway. Wood rides right behind him in car number 29. They bring it down here in front straightaway. And apparently Cliff Graves may be in a little bit of trouble in the black car number 1 as he pulls up wide. We'll watch him as he goes down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, let's watch the charge of the Chargers on the back part of the Speedway. One of them being Davey Hamilton, the other one Doug Didero. And I think Doug Didero right now is working up and he's trying to get by Davey Hamilton. Didero got by Hamilton in traffic right off at turn 2, but don't give up yet. Here's Hamilton on the inside. Boy, it's a tight squeeze up there. Will they make it? Yes, they made it. But Didero is ahead of them. That's the action to watch right now. Didero is hooked up on the outside part of the Speedway. Danny Stoll is in command going down the back straightaway into that number 3 corner. They ride 3 wide going down the back straightaway. Tight racing. Here comes the 50 now working down, and also the 35 down here in front straightaway. Davey Hamilton, car number 35, trying to get on the inside. Pat Abold, the car number 05, is coming up on the outside. He got by Hamilton. Abold now in hot pursuit as he goes down the back straightaway and trying to work up on the outside. Up Doug Didero. Doug Didero staying low, tight, down onto the inside. He's keeping a fast lane all to himself. You can't blame him at all. The 1994, 95, and 96 track champion knows the quick way around here. Hamilton and Abold going at it right now, and it's Abold winning the nod going down to the number 3 corner. Abold seems to be wearing a hot shoe right now as he works off at turn number 4. Gets up on the outside part of the Speedway. The traffic coming up on him. He goes by the 12 car coming off at turn number 2. That's Hamilton right behind, but Didero's in front of him. Meanwhile, Doug Didero trying to just close in on the leader. Danny Soul is the leader in car number 32. He did not make a pit stop. Remember, it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory to make a pit stop, so Danny Soul can stay up there all day long. If he stays up there in the number 1 spot with the tires that he is currently running, he is perfectly okay. Danny Soul, the leader. Wood rides in the number 2 second spot. Running 3rd is Ordway. Running in the number 4 position is the 16th of Dave Samard. That is Joe Gosick running 5th in the 00. The 99 running in the next position. Gary Morton, we got a problem up there in between turns number 3 and 4. It's Dave Samard, and a bad break for him. He was your 4th place running car.
I'll tell you what, a fantastic job by Doug Didero and Pat Abold. They both had to come almost to a stop out there. They both had to almost come to a stop between 3 and 4. They gave each other room.
Boy, it's going to be a shootout. Remember, the top 3 have not made a pit stop, and it is not mandatory to make a pit stop here in the International Classic. Right now, the Burt Motors Chevrolet Camaro pace car drops in at the rear pit gate. The restart will take place turn 3. The green is out, and they're back up in the racing speed, and watch them. Here they come. Danny Soul brings him down out of the corner. Wow, Wood got swirling coming out of turn number 4. Look at Joe Gosick, and we got yellow out onto the Speedway. Starting to rise to the top here, but right now the hot shoe of Danny Soul leads him coming off at turn number 2. the Central New York coach. Car number 32 goes down to turn number 3. The green light's coming on. Hammered out. Here's Wood now working up on the outside. Russ Wood takes a shot at the lead here as he comes right up and around the outside. It didn't work, and he drops right back into the racer's lane. They work off at turn number 2 and go down the back straightaway. Wood still a knocking on the door. Ordway riding back there third. Osick in car number 00 rides fourth. They all shift around, looking for a better lane to go racing. Obviously, Didero wants to go in front. A lap time of 17.805. I'll tell you, Danny Soul is in great shape. If those tires last, he is going to be a tough customer to get by. He races tight up there into the number 3 corner. Again, Wood tries to close in, but the Danny Soul, car number 32, opens up a little bit of a lead coming out front straightaway. And a better lead, and he seems to be able to just cruise coming off of turn number 2. Ordway running third. Now, here's Doug Didero charging up through the pack. Didero, obviously, since he is charging, he is going to be abusing those tires. They are fresh tires. Leader coming by. It is Doug Didero now moving right in behind the Gary Morton's car number 99 as he has moved up to the number 6 position, and right behind him is Pat Abel in car number 05. Boy, I'll tell you, this one is going to be a great shootout when it comes down to the end. Danny Soul in car number 32 sets the pace, works off at turn number 2. He wants to stand on it and just drive all the way home. Car 32, the leader in lap 132. They work between turns number 3 and 4. Here is Wood again trying to press and push for the lead. He looked down out of the inside and didn't work that time. Ordway, he may be losing some fight there on the tires as he seems to be drifting up into the corners a little bit higher each and every lap. Joe Gosick still rides fourth, and moving up quickly on the inside part of the speedway is Doug Didero. He is working on the 99 of Gary Morton. 134 laps. Here comes Doug Didero working on Morton coming off at turn number 2. He's got a wheel, the car down on the inside, and he's got the spot. He pulls up into a top 5 position right now. Didero, who has never won this classic, would like to do it. Neither has Skip Matzik, the car owner. Now they come off the corner. He is riding now up into the number 4 position. Danny Soul, number 5 position, rather. Down they come here in the front straightaway, and we could have a lead change. Yeah, Russ Wood in the auto pallet. Car works off at turn 2. He's the new leader. Woody now the leader. The 32 of Danny Soul back to the number 2 spot. Ordway now running third. Here's the leaders coming by here in the front straightaway. Your 4th place running car is now the number 3. And Gosick riding in the number 5 position.
Two cars trying to pull away. Russ Wood and Doug Didero. 32 Danny Soul runs in third. The 05 of Pat Abel is fourth. Russ Wood, the race leader, 17:27 on that last lap. He and Didero run nose to tail coming out of the 4th corner. Down into turn number 1. Keep your eye on that car. The 29 of Russ Wood is the race leader. Moved to the super team of Dick Dunnigan and Paul Dunnigan a couple of years ago, and is now looking for his first ever classic victory. They led the ISMA point race coming into the show yesterday. I'm not sure how it stands now, but they're certainly one of the top 2 or 3 teams in ISMA. 17:237 on that lap. Pat Abel now gets a wheel underneath Danny Soul. He has to back out. Davey Hamilton runs in 5th, but he is better than a straightaway behind the leaders. Slower traffic ahead now. The 75 of Chris Purley, the 07 of Shannon Groves. Here comes Russ Wood in the 29, the 3 of Doug Didero. 30 laps remain now. Danny Soul runs in third. Pat Abel is fourth. Davey Hamilton rounds out the top 5. The leaders going down between 3 and 4. Move to the outside and on by Shannon Groves. Now there's the 75 of Chris Purley right ahead. Should not be a problem. Purley has been running the low side of the track all day long. Wood pushes out in turn 2. Didero tries to get a wheel underneath. Could not quite do it. As Abel now gets down trying to make a run on the 32 of Danny Soul. He couldn't quite do it either. Your leaders come around the 75 of Chris Purley as Russ Wood pushed out down here in turn 1. Didero keeping it nailed down to the inside of the track. Wood is out in front. Didero running second. 28 laps to go. Soul is third. Abel runs fourth. The 35 of Davey Hamilton rounds out the top 5. Down the front chute. Passing flag stays out for Chris Purley. Didero making a run at the lead. Can't quite do it as Abel and Soul battle for third and fourth. Davey Hamilton has closed up some on the battle for third and fourth, but hasn't closed up any on the battle for the lead. Out in front, the 29 of Russ Wood, the Paul Donegan-owned car, sponsored by Auto Palace. Right behind him, the three-time track champion. They seals it, Fulton Motor Lines, number 3 of Dog Didero. They go now. Didero looks to the outside between 3 and 4. Didero making a run, has to set back down in behind the 29. Russ Wood, the race leader, with 25 to go. Didero works him high and low. Same thing going on in the battle for third. Danny Soul holds the spot. Pat Abel works him high and low. Davey Hamilton runs all alone in fifth, but he is closing ground on third and fourth. Down the front chute now, 24 laps to go. Russ Wood, the race leader. Doug Didero running second. Danny Soul, Pat Abel, Davey Hamilton, all right there. Then it is the 26 of Mike Ordway in 6th, 00 Joe Gosick 7th, 99 Gary Morton 8th, the 4 of Joey Payne 9th, and the 33 of Dave Schulich rounds out the top 10. They're all on the lead lap. 14 of Scotty Martell next in line. He is 11th. The number 1 of Cliff Graves runs 12th. They are all on the lead lap, and I believe they are the only cars on the lead lap. 12 cars on the lead lap with 22 laps to go. Didero making a run again to the outside of Russ Wood, 17-4 on that last lap. Wood, the race leader. Didero running in second. And they've got a big pack of cars they will catch up to before this race is over. Didero trying to find a way by Russ Wood, but Wood running a very, very smooth, consistent groove. And Didero just can't find a way by him. They're closing now on the number 12 of Andy Powell. Here's Didero on the outside. He's not going to make that stick out there. Closing on the 12 of Andy Powell. 20 laps now remaining. Didero running the tires off the car, trying to catch up to and pass the 29 of Russ Wood. Chris Purley stays down low. A lot of cars going by him. He has not been in contention all day, but he has managed to stay out of the way. 17.35 that lap. Here's Didero. He's got a wheel underneath. Coming out of turn number 2, the slower car ahead. And Ordway, or rather Wood, pins him in behind the 12 of Andy Powell. So Ordway uses the lap car. Didero had him coming out of turn 2. But the lap car, rather, of Wood hangs on out in front. Wood stays in the lead. Didero lost a little bit of ground coming around the 12 of Andy Powell. Wood out in front. Didero running second. It is still Soul and Abel third and fourth. Davey Hamilton rounds out the top 5. Now your leaders coming up on slower traffic again. The 07 of Russ, of Shannon Groves. The 18 of Howie Page. The 01 of Jeff West. Here's Didero down to the inside. And this time he takes the lead. Didero makes the move to the inside. Slower traffic still ahead though. And now here comes Russ Wood back to the inside. They get by 2 of the cars. Now it's 16 laps to go. And Doug Didero has the lead. Trying for his 9th feature win of 1996. His first ever classic. He takes the lead on lap 185. Didero out of the 4th corner out in front. Russ Wood running in second. The lap cars put Didero in front as he made a run by 3 lap cars. He pinned Wood and got to the inside and on by. Now it's Didero with Wood trying to chase him down. But look at this, a lot of lap traffic ahead. 75, Chris Purley about to go another lap down with 14 laps remaining. Purley down to the inside on the outside. It is the 3 of Doug Didero. He comes around Purley. Abel has moved up to third, by the way. 00 Joe Gosick goes to the pits. We are told he is out of fuel. Gosick into the pits at the 00. 13 laps remaining. Your leader, Didero, down the back straight. Russ Wood running in second. Pat Abel is third. Abel has gotten by Danny Soul, and Soul now coming up with a challenge from behind as Davey Hamilton tries to work on Danny Soul. They try to come by, and Soul and Hamilton both spin. Soul and Hamilton spin. As Soul and Hamilton were coming by some of the slower cars, they brushed down here in turn 1. Both of them doing a slow, lazy spin to the outside. And that plays right into the hands of Doug Didero. Going to run off a few laps here and take all the lap traffic out from in front of him, Denny.
Yes, it sure does. It plays into his hand real good. I tell you, that was a real bad break for Danny Soul and Hamilton.
Abel is third, 26. Mike Ordway fourth, 14. Scotty Martell, good run for him in fifth. 99, Gary Morton 6th, 33. Dave Schulich 7th, the 1 of Cliffy Graves 8th, and the 4 of Joey Payne 9th. The pace car is in. Didero's on it in a hurry. He's not going to let any moss grow under him. And here comes Abel trying to make a run on Russ Wood. He drifts a little bit out down there in turn number 4. Green flag, we're now running lap number 196, 4 laps remaining. Didero out in front, Wood running second, Abel is in third. And we got a spin down the front straight for Dave Simard, but he keeps it going. Yellow flag is going to come out as Simard brought it all the way around down here on the front straight. His second trip around, his second yellow flag. It did come out, although he got it turned around, straightened around. Doug Didero do the same thing this time he did last time. Just as soon as that pace car starts to pull down low, there he goes. He is on it right away. The pace car down out of the way. Doug is on it in a hurry. Green flag is out in turn 3. Abold working on Russ Wood. Your leader coming out of the corner. Well, they could go. Man, he got a little bit loose out of the corner. Down the front chute, Didero got it cocked around sideways, coming out of fourth. Here's Abel now, making a run down at the inside of Russ Wood in that number 29. Doug Didero coming around this time will take the white flag. He is looking for his 9th feature win of the year, his first ever classic. Doug Didero out in front in that number 3, heading down the back chute on his way to his first ever International Classic victory. Out of turn number 4 he comes. The checkered flag is out. The win goes to Doug Didero. In second it is Russ Wood. Pat Abel, the great run for third. Mike Ordway finishes fourth. Scott Martell gets up for 5th. And right here at the end, David Hamilton trying to pick up a couple of spots. He was laps down anyway. Smoked the tires down into... And the 14 of Scotty Martell rounds out the top 5. Skip and Lois doing a little body contact work down here in the first turn. As Doug Didero, man, he is savoring this moment. Comes down the front straight. Takes it up into victory lane. Man, you got to believe, Denny, he is just savoring this as much as he possibly can.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I can tell you, I'm just so happy for him. I mean, he's never won the Classic. The Classic is the ultimate thing that can happen anywhere in the world in super modified racing. What a fantastic race, Doug Didero and the whole Skip Matzik team. I'm really happy for you.
Down in victory lane, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a great hand for Doug Didero. His 9th feature win of the year, the track title, and the International Classic the same season. It doesn't happen all that often. End of a streak of 2 wins in a row. Now Doug Didero will try to start that. Joe Murata on his way out. They got a race tonight at Weedsport. He's on his way down there on the New York State Fairgrounds tomorrow. Rolling wheels tomorrow night if you want to catch the action on the dirt.
Roy, I'm down here in the pits with Skip and Lois Matzik, the owners of this race-winning car. Skip, it's got to be an absolutely amazing story.
Yes, it is. When we heard that Canadian anthem just now and the folks singing it, and you said this hasn't been done since Conium, boy, I tell you, it's hard to hold the tears back. My guys are all teary-eyed and excited. This is a lifetime, a dream of a lifetime, and I think all of us will remember it forever. It's for me, the guys, you fans, Doug and Cindy. We just hope that all of our sponsors will appreciate all the hard work, and we'd like to thank them so much for all their help.
Was there ever any doubt in your mind that Doug wasn't going to win this race today?
We were strong all day long. We felt good. Doug felt good. You know, you see me out there making the signs to him. When I put my hands far apart, that means you got a little bit of a lead, and when they're close together, somebody's coming on you. And we have other signals, and all day long, we were just coming back and forth to each other, and we felt real good all day.
Okay, Lois, very quickly, got to be the thrill of a lifetime for you.
It's absolutely the culmination of a great season, and I want to thank Doug and Cindy for just giving us a wonderful life.
Well, that's terrific, and you guys, of course, stay at the Fulton Motor Lodge, so Roy, Phone the Fulton Motor Lodge. Tell them to double their champagne order because there's going to be a party out there tonight.
You know, Phil always puts a pizza in the drawer for Doug when he wins. Well, Phil, you might put an extra one in tonight.
Okay, up to you, Roy. The ceremonies down here in Victory Lane will begin just as soon as the winning driver makes his way back here. One morning and said to yourself, I was the 1996 track champion, which was my third in a row. Then I sat on the pole for the 1996 International Classic, and then I won it going away. This has got to be a dream.
This is absolutely a dream. You know, when I was starting out in the Supers, Bentley Warren done this. He won the track championship, won the Classic, and I envied him so much for that. You know, I thought he had the whole world, and now I get to, you know, to enjoy this just as he did, and I'll tell you, this is unbelievable.
Absolutely an amazing feeling. As Jack Arute would say, talk to us about your emotions.
Oh, the emotions are going through me like crazy. You know, this is something that I always dreamed of, that, but never thought that able to accomplish a track championship and a Classic win all in the same year. But you know, we worked hard enough. Everybody on this team worked hard enough to deserve this, and every one of us do.
Okay, let's talk about the race a little bit. You were on the pole, and yet Davey Hamilton snatched the lead right from the start. He looked like he was well in command of that race. You were sitting sometimes in second, sometimes in third. You knew exactly where you were all the time during the race?
Yeah, I knew where we were all the time in the race. Right on the beginning there, when Davey took the race lead, and I hit the throttle, and the motor just bogged down, and Davey pulled me coming down there, you know, and it actually worked out good. Davey was setting an awful fast pace, I think, for the beginning of the race. I couldn't believe how fast we were actually going, you know, the first few laps. That's unusual for a Classic here, but it actually set the tempo for the race, what Davey did, and you know, it's unbelievable that Hoosier had such a good tire for us here, that the tire stayed up with the pace of the race all day long. And after we come in for our pit stop, I had to beat on the car pretty hard. I had to beat on the right rear pretty hard. You know, every one of those laps, getting under the guys and going over top of them, and the right rear stayed up. And you know, the car was flawless all day long. We never had no problems whatsoever with the brakes. It's just unbelievable how the car worked for 200 laps.
Well, as Mike O'Brien of Wholesale Diamond Exchange said, you know, your strategy was perfect, but you intimated that you just followed Davey. Now, what you're saying is if Davey hadn't pitted, you would have stayed out there too?
Skip was down in the corner, you know, shaking his shoulders. What do you want to do? And I don't know. The car was so good at that point, I did not really want to come in. I didn't want to come in. The car was hooked. I knew we would still have a good car at the end of the race. And Davey come in, and I said, well, we're going to come in too. We'll just follow him, and you know, we'll come back up through the pack together. You know, one makes a hole, one come follow, and we'll get up front that way. But that's what actually made my mind up to come in the pit and get the tire.
Okay, now there are some people who are very apprehensive about pit stops during this type of motor race, particularly cars that don't have starters on them. You got push trucks all over the place. In fact, one of your car owners, Lois Matzik, was talking the other night about her apprehension on pit stops here. Now, do you think pit stops are 100% necessary, or do you think, you know, maybe the time has come? You talked about Davey's pace. Maybe you're going to have to go back to no stops for tires, and you're going to have to nurse your way through 200 laps, or do you like it the way it is?
I would like to see it that you don't get no tires. You won't get a tire unless it's flat. You go out there, you run your 200 laps with your car, and the best guy, the best car wins on that day. You know, pit stops have won now for 6 years consecutive, you know, and perhaps, you know, they keep dwindling it down. Now this year you could only get one tire. If you got a second tire, it had to be flat. Now maybe next year we can go back to, you know, you can only get a tire if it's flat.
Okay, well, it's some interesting thoughts. Look, Doug, congratulations. It was wonderful hearing that Canadian national anthem here at the International Classic at the Oswego International Speedway. It's only right that a non-American should win once in a while, right?
Yeah, the last winner was Warren Cunningham, you know, and
right.
And Warren was over talking to me and his son Ryan there this afternoon, you know, and I looked on Warren's hand, and he had the Classic ring on, and I just thought to myself, man, I hope I can get one of them this afternoon, and we did.
Well, you got one. It might be the first of many. Congratulations, Doug Didero. For those fans who are still in the stands, let's have a big hand for the winner of the 1996 Oswego International Classic.
Thank you very much.